So we've started taking the windows off. The idea is to take them all off over here so that we can work on the outside of the coach roof to do the blue and to carry on with that motif. These are the old windows. They're just awful. You can't keep them. I do have new ones, also awful new ones. They're over here. Pretty much the same style, but new. Just a little bit nicer than the previous ones. They're also slightly larger, as in a little bit wider. I'm still not sure how we're going to do them. This is going to be my test one. A few years ago we removed that one, and we've been using multiple different ones to try and make up the holes and make up a template to try and figure out what we're going to do, but unfortunately this isn't going to do it. So we will retrofit this one in. I'll obviously document all of that. I'm not sure how these are going to work. They stick out a little bit more as well. But okay, let's go outside and remove the rest of this. By the by, I have started the process of putting the new window in here. It's not finished. I just wanted to tape it off and see how close it was. I still need to sand just a little bit up here on the inside of the actual window, the polycarb. And then I think in the next couple of days, you need to have octopus arms to put this in. So I'm going to get a hand with a friend of mine is going to come help, and we'll install this. Alright, here's the new ones. Let's unbox and test this out. I think it's definitely bigger. I will have to create a wedge. So the old one had a wedge on either side. Here it is. One on either side. This one's going to need one in the middle, which is fine, I guess. And I can use this outside as a template of sorts. The idea being, oh, well, sorry, that's inside. This is inside. And you can already see the height is probably okay. I'll line that up. There is space. I'll just have to make that wedge. But it's definitely going to need to go out a little bit more. But man, oh, it's so much better looking than these old things. Unfortunately, it's going to go straight on. I'm not going to do a frame or anything, so it's going to stick out a little bit on the outside. But I think that's better. The problem with this one is it didn't stick out enough. So water would just pool in here. And what I might even do is, from the outside, there are things that you can put on here that'll, like little water shields. But let's have a look and see how this works. I mean, if anything. So I'm going to say like 10 mil aside. Yeah. So I need to figure out how to do this, and then once I've figured out how to do this, I'll get back to you. Okay, so I've taped this on. This is going to do very well to be a sort of a template. I'll just trace around the edge here, and then what I'll do is I'll come along with a router and remove the bit that's not needed. This is a little bit flexible because it's plastic. It also means I get to see where the holes are going to be, and I can pre-drill them as well as make the mark here for the divot. Then I'll have to fill these ones up. So I think what I should first do is mix up some thicker epoxy like I did over here by all of these places, fill up all the holes on this thing inside and outside, and then start planing that. So this is done, it's stuck in place. I've covered the outside with a sort of a tape. I've scorched a line on either end where I think I'm going to have to go to make this a little bit wider. And then I'll take this off tomorrow, grind through here where I'm going to need a groove across from the other side, and then build a little dam around these two and fill them up like I did on this side a couple of years ago, although this was done poorly and we didn't have the new windows yet. So sanded and primed. I don't think I'll do more than this prime. I think that's a decent enough prime job. You can see where I've stopped. This will come off next week. This week, just this window here. I got to do the outside before I actually start cutting and routing the edges off. Those marks are now gone because I've primed over it. But I'll do those from the outside. And this should be done this week, hopefully. And then I can do the blue on the outside and then finally fit, or at the very least test fit, the new hatch. Can't wait. So while I'm waiting for that priming job to dry, it's time to finally get to bedding down the doghouse window. This is Sikaflex and I'm trying to be neat. I'm still not sure, even now after all the work that's been done, exactly how I'm going to bed this thing. But I'll squeeze the Sikaflex in, I will gently lay the window down, and with a bit of help we'll wiggle it to and fro, put some screws in to hold it in place, and maybe it'll work. I'm definitely going to have to revise this for the port side. As you can see, this is less than a stellar application of Sikaflex, and probably come loose after a while because I didn't use the other bedding compound that goes behind the Sikaflex, the little primer. But alright, lessons learned, let's install it anyway. Alright, a bit of a disaster. None of this worked out the way I wanted it to work out. There's still a lot of gaps on the inside. It's not perfect. On the outside it barely touched, even though multiple dry fits definitely worked, but for some reason it didn't. And I've now used an entire tube of Sikaflex, and I need another to complete this job, and probably a tube of Sikaflex per window is what we're probably looking at, if not a bit more. So wow, who'd have thought it. I have completed the first coat of the top coat, which is the sort of gloss coat that goes on here. It's the same stuff I'm using for the deck. I've obviously got to continue with that, but this first section looks pretty good already. So good, in fact, that I opted to do the same on the mast, which I then promptly leant against and messed it up on this side. But it is going to need a second coat, and I thought I would do that. Looks so much better. Incidentally, these are the kids, Lainey and Zoe, and Mom and Dad. This is how tall we are, and we've been keeping track on this pole for a few years, so I don't want to I don't want to lose it. Looks awesome. Right, back to work. So still a tight fit, but not a bad fit at all. I'll have to drill to put the screws in, and it's pretty cool. I only just realized these don't go click, so if we lift them up they just come back down, which is kind of disappointing, but they are the cheap ones. And if you'll see these ones, this little piece of tape that we got here is for the previous one, and that's what holds it up. So yeah, but I think it looks great. So only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more to go up here, and 14 in total on the boat. That's going to be pretty much it for this week. I'm going to plan ahead a few more videos for next week and the week after, take a small Christmas break, and then be back in January with a little bit of a new format. I don't know how new it will be, because it takes a lot of time to do these videos and publish them, and then I've got my day job, and then I've got this as well. But we've hit a couple of milestones, and we've done a great deal of work. I've messed up this whole area with all of my tools lying all over the place. I'll definitely need to clean up, start the year off with a clean boat and with a better idea of projects that are coming up. So I hope you have enjoyed this episode, and I'll plan ahead for the rest, and see you next week. Bye.